The butter is melting.
The produce is picked.
The salad is tossed.
The papadums are crispy.
The mac and cheese is crusty.
The truffle is sliced.
A muqueca é muito boa.
The salsa is spicy.
The steak is sizzling.
The custard is cooling.
Are you hungry yet? So let's go see what's cooking. Well, this is a real walk down memory lane for me because back in the 1980s, this was my nightclub called Nippers, where you could get champagne and caviar and there was dancing. Today, it's Los Arroyos, a Mexican restaurant, where they've traded in the champagne and caviar for ceviche and cerveza. So let's go and see what's cooking. And here he is, Tony Arroyo.
Arthur,
good to
how
see
are
you, buddy.
Good to see you too. Welcome.
Wow. Well, you know, I love being here. It brings back a lot of memories.
Yes, it does.
And you have done so well with Los Arroyos. You started originally, when was that in Figueroa? How many years ago?
That's almost 17 years ago, Arthur.
Wow.
Yeah, March 4, 1999.
So you started down there, simple taqueria, really, wasn't it?
That was a small hole in the wall.
Yep.
That was 450 square feet.
And it's gotten bigger, even
A
there.
lot of bigger now.
Now
Yeah.
then you opened up here at 1280 Coast Village Road.
Yes.
And where else have you got places?
Well, we got at the Premium Outlets in Camarillo, and I also have one more in Reno, Nevada. And yeah, you're right. We opened this one 11 years ago.
Wow. It's incredible because what you've done is you've captured what people want to taste, the authentic cuisine of Mexico, but with a little bit of a California twist,
Touch,
you know?
Yes, we had to have a little different in there. Yes.
Yeah. Now, where are you originally from in Mexico?
I'm from La Piedad, Michoacan, Mexico. Yes.
And I gather every region of Mexico has different types of cuisine.
It is different, but you know, I used to travel a lot with my ex-wife, Maria. And we used to go to different parts of the country in Mexico, so we absorb all the different flavors, like the mole from the mole from Puebla. You know, we know the tamales from Oaxaca, and so a lot of the stuff we got the taste at our country, and so we brought them over here.
So this is kind of the United Nations of Mexico.
It is.
As far as food goes.
So it's not just Michoacan; it's all over the states.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're going to show us some items. What have you got on the menu today?
We're gonna make something simple so people can cook it at home. So we have homemade ceviche, and we're gonna make a salsa that my grandma used to make, which is called salsa quemada.
What's that?
Well, you know, the story about that is, and this is a true story, but of course we fix it up here and there. My grandma used to make salsa, and one day she forgot the tomatoes on the charboiler, so they got burned. Since we are so poor, we cannot waste anything, so she make the salsa. And it's just roasted tomatoes, roasted serranos, fresh onions, cilantro, a little bit of salt and garlic, and it's an authentic salsa. So we all ask the grandma, like, Grandma, what kind of salsa is that? She says, well, it's salsa quemada.
So she invented it?
She invented it.
Wow. And then, what do you got? You got a fish dish for us too?
We're gonna have the halibut and ceviche, and we also gonna have a traditional fish that is from Veracruz called zarandeado. And it's a red snapper, which we call in Mexico huachinango. And it's gonna be with grilled spinach, the zarandeado sauce on the fish, and the Mexican rice. So.
Sounds great. Well, maybe we should take a little walkie with us.
Please.
And go in the kitchen and see what's cooking.
Thank you.
Here we go. Well, I'll tell you, Tony, this brings back some memories because this was back in the 80s where our dance floor was, and it was really hot.
I know.
Now you got a kitchen, and that's really hot.
It's still hot.
It's still hot back here. So maybe something to cool us down would be a nice appetizer like a ceviche?
Absolutely. You know, that's a very traditional dish, Arthur, and it's so easy to make it at home. And Los Arroyos always using the fresh ingredients, which we have fresh halibut, we have fresh tomatoes, onions, and cilantro. And so let's start chopping up the halibut so we can cook it for you.
Okay. Now you can use other fish besides halibut when you make ceviche. I mean, I remember in Mexico I caught a fish and I don't remember what it was, but we cut it up and we put it in with some lime, and the lime cooks it, doesn't it?
The lime is cooked, so it's a raw fish basically, and it takes about a half an hour to an hour to be cooking. So we leave the halibut cooking on the lime juice with a little bit of oregano, and by the time that's cooking, you chop your tomatoes, your onions, your cilantro, which we're gonna make it right now.
Simple.
And leave it cooking so people can see how easy it is to make something very refreshing at home.
This is a great appetizer, especially in the hotter days when it's warm out. You serve this with maybe a little margarita on the side.
In the summertime.
Oh,
Yes.
you're talking my language.
Yes.
All right,
So we squeeze a little lime, and then we let them cook it there for a little while.
And halibut is one of the great fishes from, of course, if you can get the Alaskan halibut, that's really the best, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's got a little more fat to it, and it's just luscious.
Absolutely.
It's like cold water.
Well, halibut is the most mild fish, and it's the white fish that people like. They don't need to eat the dark one that much, so that's why a lot of people are so familiar with the halibut.
Right.
So once we cook in the halibut with the lime juice, we have our tomatoes and onions here, and like I said, it takes about an hour, half an hour to be cooked.
Really marinate. Would you put it in the fridge?
It's actually a good idea to put them in the fridge and cover with saran plastic because it keeps all the aromas inside.
Right.
We have to put a little oregano in there, and then we mix it up everything together.
All right.
So the next dish we're gonna come back with this one. The next dish we're gonna do is gonna be the tacos gobernador, which is very popular in Guadalajara. And they can make it different kinds. They can do shrimp, they can do fish, they can do a smoked fish. So we're gonna do a shrimp tacos today. So we have our shrimp fresh again. We don't use anything frozen. And then we have some pasilla chiles, red onions, and queso.
Queso.
Yes.
What kind of queso is it?
We use it manchego and a little bit of jack cheese together.
Oh, so you blend the two. Oh,
Yeah, we blend the two. How about you chop the shrimp and I'll get the pan ready to go.
All right.
Get your hands dirty.
Here goes nothing. And while I'm chopping the shrimp, we're going to get a couple of quick words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back here on What's Cooking. All right, well, welcome back. And well, I've been chopping up shrimp while you were gone, and now the shrimp are shrimpier. But I think the ceviche has marinated itself, and oh, Tony's back, and it's looking good.
This ceviche is ready, Arthur.
Okay.
So let's put together our onions, tomatoes, and cilantro.
Right. Now, you don't use any garlic in ceviche?
We don't use any garlic on the ceviche. We used to use a little olive oil, but people start getting a little, that's why we have it on the side on the tables now, but people use it with a little olive oil.
I see. And the cilantro is just one of the great spices, isn't it? Used a lot in Mexico, and especially cilantro and lime. What a happy combination.
Cilantro is a key for the Mexican food, to be honest, Arthur. So
Right. So now you're mixing in a little bit of that fish juice and lime juice with all the veg.
And then we put a little bit of salt, much as people likes it.
Yeah. And this is on your menu all the time here.
It is on the
Los
menu.
Arroyos.
Yes, it is. So
What do you do in a place like, in your place in Reno, Nevada? Where do you get fresh fish?
that's a tough
Lake
one.
Tahoe? You go over there?
Lake Tahoe is no halibut there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get fish over there too, and it's the same tradition. We make everything fresh. We get all the stuff. A lot of stuff comes from California, to be honest. So,
Sure.
but we prepare everything fresh in the morning. Our stuff get there early.
So for someone who can't get hold of northern halibut, other fish that work well for ceviche, what do you think is a good option?
Ceviche can be made with all kinds of stuff. We can even do it with shrimp. We can do it with red snapper, which is very popular here. Some people even make ceviche with salmon. So we used to have a special with salmon ceviche. So yeah, it is a lot of choices that you can make the ceviche with.
But you really want to get fresh fish, not frozen fish.
Now frozen fish, yeah, always has to be fresh. And again, sometimes you show up in the morning and they're gonna tell you the ceviche is not ready because we either didn't get the fish quick enough, but everything has to be fresh every morning.
Good.
Yes.
Great. Well, it's already starting to look good, and I can smell that cilantro and lime getting together, and it's a happy marriage, I can tell you, folks.
It
looks
is.
so good. All right. And we're going to save these shrimp for something else later, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put them over there.
Tacos in a minute.
Okay.
So let's plate this one.
Yeah, I mean, remember, it's all in the eye of the beholder, so the better the dish looks, usually the better it will taste to people, too.
I have some chips here, so we can make some fresh chips.
And those aren't your average Doritos, are they? You make your own chips.
It's the same tortilla, but yes, we do.
Yeah.
It's the same tortilla, but we just make it a little bigger this time.
Right. So if you wanted to make your own chips, you could get tortillas, right?
Yes.
And you can either bake them or fry them.
Bacon is the best.
Baking is best.
Yes, bacon is the
How
best.
hot do you turn on your oven to bake them?
Oof, 350. Keep it hot.
You put it in a
Spray
pan?
Put them in a pan, spray a little oil, bring them inside.
Right.
Less than 5 or 10 minutes, they're ready.
And they crisp up like that.
The tortilla is very, very small, very thin.
So if you wanted to do this, the way you've done this, you would pre-cut them before you put them in the oven.
Absolutely.
Do you put a little salt on them too?
No, we don't put any salt until they're done. Once they're done, you can do a little sprinkle of
I see.
outside.
That's a nice way to do it.
So we
And
have,
you customize your chips that way. I like that. Okay, so a little more cilantro on there.
we
Yeah?
have a little avocado here, already chop it up.
Yeah. That is the gem of California, our fresh avocados. They look so great. All year round too. again, don't we?
Absolutely.
We're so lucky.
And we have a fresh ceviche for a nice.
That's a beautiful,
time.
beautiful, and that's going to serve really 1 or 2 people. You can share it,
Absolutely,
couldn't
yeah.
it?
It's the portion is however you're gonna make it, but this one will fit easily 2 to 3 people.
Wow.
Yes.
Look how fast you put it together. Okay, so moving along to our next dish. We're talking shrimp are going to be in here. These beautifully sliced shrimp, I might add.
Absolutely.
My one claim to fame. Okay, and then you got your cheeses.
And I have my chiles and my onions and the cheese. So,
Okay, so we're gonna go to the
let's
kitchen?
go back here and start cooking it.
Stay tuned. There'll be more of What's Cooking right after this break. Alrighty, so we're in the kitchen and you got the oil on the flame. What kind of oil are you using?
We use vegetable oil, but you can also use olive oil
Right.
with this.
Okay.
So we have our vegetable oil already cooking.
Right.
We use a little bit of garlic just to give it a little flavor.
Uh-huh.
So we got our garlic cooking.
Right?
Now we can throw our onions to cook a little bit. So we saute our onions, Arthur. Mm-hmm. Then we get our shrimp that we chop. By the way, you did a good job by chopping this.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you. And then we add our pasilla chile.
Right. And you've seeded this pasilla chili, right?
Oh yes. It won't be spicy at all. One thing we have to use, Arthur, is our homemade tortillas, which Los Arroyos always make it fresh.
They do look good. And they smell great. But if you don't make your own tortillas, you can buy store-bought.
Yeah, you can buy it.
But you want to heat them up first, right?
Absolutely. You know what we do? We have a little garlic butter, and we spray that in here, put them in our grill,
All right.
and then we're gonna use our cheese, which we actually make it look like a little quesadillas while our shrimp are cooking.
Okay. And again, it's this combination of Manchego and Monterey Jack, right?
Monterey Jack.
But if you didn't have Manchego, you could use Monterey Jack. Could you use queso fresco?
You could use queso fresco. You could use Oaxaca cheese, which is very delicious.
And where do you get Oaxaca cheese?
You know, we have a lot of Hispanic Mexican stores in the area, which they carry all their cheeses from Mexico.
So you asked for Oaxaca cheese.
Yes.
Got it.
How's the shrimp looking?
You know, they're looking great. They got that nice color, that orange color is coming through. And I love the smell. I only wish we could bring the smell to you because this room it smells a lot better than it did when it was a dance floor.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Well, it looks like the ingredients are ready. I guess now it's time to plate it.
Let's move it on.
They look like beautiful quesadillas.
They're ready to go, Octor, so let's set it up and see how our plate's gonna look. Smells so good over here.
It does, and there's something, a combination of the cheese and the chilies and the onions and the garlic. I mean, this is making my mouth water. Okay.
I'm sure it's gonna taste delicious.
Yeah. And this is a popular dish on your menu, yes?
It is a popular dish on the menu, so, and it's a good thing to do at home when you have some friends and, you know, you got a quick taco appetizer right here for them. And you can also accompany it with any salsa you want, which we're gonna make the salsa quemada, Arthur, and that goes really well with the tacos.
Great. Look at that, you kind of lie them together. That's nice. And 3 tacos like this, that's plenty for one person, yeah?
Plenty.
I mean-
That's something that you do for sharing. One
Yeah.
taco per person.
Oh, okay. Even better. Or unless it's me, I'll take all 3. All right, that looks great. And then you put a little bit of, looks like a little guacamole.
We have a little homemade guacamole, Arthur,
with some salsa there, huh?
And we're waiting to make some salsa for this, so.
All right. Well, we're going to go and take a quick break. When we come back, it's salsa time. Olé. And we're back here at Los Arroyos with Tony Arroyo.
Thank you, Arthur.
Well, now we're going into the salsa time, right?
Now we're gonna make some salsa quemada.
Okay.
So we have our tomatoes and our chili serranos and a little bit of garlic. And let's go back on the kitchen.
All right, back into the kitchen we go.
So we roast our tomatoes here, Arthur.
Uh-huh.
We put our tomatoes and our garlic
And you do them just whole like that.
just to get a burn.
Right.
Just like my grandma used to say so.
So you're going to get a little bit blackened on. Do you just turn it over?
Yeah. We keep moving them back and forth.
Right.
Until they get roasted.
Uh-huh.
And after 5 minutes to be cooking, this is how the final product look like.
That's how it looks. Hey, the magic of TV. All right, so you've got your roasted tomatoes, your roasted garlic, and your roasted peppers.
We get our blender here. This is a very, very simple salsa to make and very fast to do. You know, it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to make the salsa.
Right. So you put it all in there, huh?
We put them all in here, Arthur.
Wow. What kind of peppers were those again?
Chile serranos.
Serrano peppers. Because those are pretty spicy, aren't they?
Serranos can be spicy and sometimes can be mild. Right now it's a mild season, so they won't be burning themselves. So once we put them in our blender, we take it in here and blend it. And we have our salsa ready to go, Arthur, here.
Wow.
So we got our tomato blend here, Arthur, and we add fresh onions and cilantro, which is the last touch for this.
Aha. Okay.
Once we add it, we put a little bit of salt, just however people likes it,
All right.
and we got an amazing salsa fresca.
It looks dangerous.
It's
Is it going to be hot?
It's gonna be hot.
Hot cha cha
The
cha.
quemada, you know, when you roast tomatoes and chiles, usually the chiles get a little spicy. Not that much, but they get a little spicy.
Right.
And that's how it comes to our salsa quemada here. And we have some fresh chips.
Can we do a little dip?
Please, be my
a
guest.
little dip will do us, huh? Wow! That is bursting with flavor.
You cannot beat this.
You can't beat that salsa. Let's do the salsa, okay?
That sounds salsa.
Olé.
Thank you, Arthur.
All right, now we're going to plate it all up and go and taste it. Huh?
Let's go sit down and have some dinner.
Sounds like a great idea.
Thank you.
All right. Well, this table looks terrific with all the little dishes we put together like that. It was so fast.
Very fast.
You're a Speedy Gonzalez.
Next to you and you help, I can be.
You know, when I go traveling and I leave California, there's one thing I always miss, and that's Mexican food. It's just something about it. Even just talking about it, my mouth starts watering. I wasn't even hungry, and now I'm hungry when I see all this. So
Let's try
we
it.
start with the ceviche, huh? This looks so nice how you did it. Here, please, Tony.
Please.
I don't want to be eating this all by myself. Although I could eat it all by myself. It's delicious. That lime just jumps right out. The
The
flavor.
cilantro makes a big difference too.
The cilantro, the lime, the salt, and of course the fish, which is just so tender and delicate.
That's a dish that people really gonna enjoy to make at home after, especially for summer and spring break.
Yeah. Oh. All right, now on to the main event, which are the tacos gobernador.
Tacos gobernador.
Okay, which means what, governor?
Governor.
All right, governor, we're going to give this a shot.
Please, be my guest.
Now, would you just sort of dip, just,
Yeah,
is it normal to dip it in like that?
absolutely. We friends here.
Uh-huh. I can't talk, it's so good. Muy sabroso, right?
Muy rico.
Muy rico. This is so good. Tony, you have really, really taken my taste buds on a tour of some terrific tastes.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate it. I know our people at home can't wait to try this. I can't wait to try it at home. And thank you for taking the time to show us how to do these great dishes.
Absolutely.
As I say in Mexico, muchas gracias.
Salud for Los Arroyos.
Salud, Los Arroyos. And we'll see you next week on What's Cooking. Cheers.